closing ceremony, I would like to invite this person who is an inspiration to the nation. I had the personal privilege of seeing him in action actually in Conference of Parties 28 in Dubai, where he is an advocate for the Global South, for countries like Malaysia and countries like in our region in ASEAN. I've heard very good things about him as well during COP29 in Baku, Azerbaijan, and hopefully we can step up further by bringing the ASEAN region to the forefront in COP30 later in Belém, Brazil. So, without further ado, to conclude our forum, we have Yang Berhormat Nik Nazmi bin Nik Ahmad, Minister for Natural Resources and Environmental Sustainability, sharing his vision for ASEAN COP30.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum. Salam sejahtera and a very good afternoon. Mr. Fujioka Ryosuke, Chief Representative of the AMICC Secretariat, Mr. Sanjaya Mulia, Founder of ASEAN Youth Organization, Ms. Sarah Rozana, Chairperson of ASEAN Youth Organization, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I would like to thank all of you for inviting me to the event today on the ASEAN Youth Economic Forum. And I think I try to always find time when there are events that are involving youth, the younger generation, because when it comes to my portfolio, my responsibility on natural resources, on environmental sustainability, my most important stakeholder is the younger generation. One is because you are still able to change your ways. It's easier for you to change your ways compared to us who are not so young. Two, you have more at stake. People who are in the older generation have less time, I mean, on average, compared to you. So when you have more at stake, with what's going to happen to the planet. 2050, for example, if I'm still around, I will be, can't remember now, but I should be 68, right, in 2050. So, if I'm still around, right, but most of you who are the younger generation will be there. You will be at the prime of your life, you will be in politics, you will be in business, you will be in civil society, and you will feel the brunt of whatever our mistakes, our shortcomings that we have from today. So, speaking to you is very, very critical. And I think there is a tendency, you know, ASEAN has been around for quite some time. Even before I was born, ASEAN has been around. And when ASEAN came about, this was a region that was in the middle of the Cold War. We were in the middle of the nuclear rivalry between the different countries. And many parts of ASEAN were still relatively poor at that time. And so by becoming ASEAN, by coming together, countries, even neighboring countries, we had our strong rivalries. And I'm not talking about nasi lemak belongs to which country, right? We are talking about real geopolitical tensions. We had soldiers on the ground between different countries of ASEAN. So the decision to be together, to form ASEAN, was a very significant decision, and that has contributed to the peace and stability that we enjoy in this region. Today, ASEAN is a region of 670 million people. If you take Malaysia, we are just 35 million. But if we come together as ASEAN, we are bigger in terms of population than the European Union. If all goes according to plan by the year 2030, 5 years down the road, if ASEAN is one country, we will be the 4th biggest economy in the world. Can you imagine that potential? But we have to recognize that there are a lot of challenges. Yes, the European Union is a more cohesive political organization. We have to accept that. We are not there yet in that sense, or whether that is suitable for ASEAN, that is something that I think you should debate. But the other part is also, the fact remains that while we are not just talking about Singapore or Brunei, even Kuala Lumpur, Bangkok, Jakarta, Manila, if you take out these cities on its own, is very, very developed in terms of income, in terms of GDP. But there are many parts of ASEAN that are still left behind, that are still struggling, right? And so that is why we have to be able to address this issue. And then we have the environmental, the planetary crisis. Climate change is very real to ASEAN because we are one of the regions, and this is part of the IPCC report. We are one of the regions that are most susceptible to climate change. You look at the map of Indonesia, you can understand, or the map of Malaysia, or Philippines, for that matter. We are also pollution, the issue of air pollution. There's a recent study that says that the growth of cancer or lung cancer death due to air pollution among non-smokers have increased significantly. So previously you say if you don't smoke, you are safe. Today, just by breathing the normal air out there, you are exposing yourself to various dangers to health. We also have our biodiversity. We have countries like Malaysia, Philippines, Indonesia are one of the most mega diverse countries in the world. If I'm not mistaken, 1/4, 25% of all known species known to mankind exist in this small region called ASEAN. So how do we balance all this? We are still growing. We still have citizens of ASEAN who are looking for a better life. They need jobs. They need economic opportunities, and that will involve difficult decisions when it comes to what do we do with our forests, what do we do with our land. How do we provide homes for them? And this is where a just transition is very, very critical to ASEAN. And I think the role of Japan, I think, is very critical to this, because Japan is a country that is close to ASEAN and that has played a significant role in the growth and development of ASEAN since its inception. And we have to be able to find partnerships like this, because we know that the world out there is going back to what it was when ASEAN first came about. Okay, let's not talk about plastic straws or real estate projects. We know what it's all about, right? What's happening to the world. So in that situation, ASEAN must be able, and you have to be able to talk about why ASEAN is still relevant. It still matters, because let's face it, if we go on our separate ways, we are not going to make a lot of difference. We are trying to, for example, in COP30, to come together as an ASEAN bloc to have one position with regards to climate change. How do we address this, and how do we speak, not as Malaysia, not as Singapore, not as Thailand, not as Laos, but as ASEAN. And I think that is something that we have to do more in various sectors that we are involved in. And I think we need to listen to you, because your ideas, your views are very critical. Often I get told that, oh, we need to increase the awareness among the younger generation about taking care of the environment, about taking care of the climate. But you know what? The younger generation are already aware, much more aware than my generation. Whenever my son sees trees being cut down, he will send a WhatsApp to me. He's 13 years old and he says, Abba, you're a lousy environment minister. So I know that your generation are very aware. You know what the problem is. But obviously, you need the support from the so-called adults like us on how do we forge a path forward. And this is where I hope to listen to your ideas, to your views, on how we can come together and bring together the power of ASEAN. Because in these uncertain times, when we have climate problems, when we have environmental challenges, when we have geopolitical uncertainty, ASEAN is very relevant to pull together all the resources and to find a solution together. Because it makes sense. What works in Malaysia, most likely, most of the time, maybe not all the time, but will tend to also work in Indonesia or in Singapore or in Philippines. Because we are similar. We are from the same region, similar in culture, similar in economic structure, so on and so forth. Too often we go out of ASEAN, as individual countries on our own to look for solutions outside when the solution can be found in our own economies, in our own countries within the ASEAN region. And I think tapping into the opportunities, the support that Japan has given is very critical so that we can truly ensure that ASEAN is not just one of the many acronyms that you have. In my job, you have so many acronyms with regards to COP, UNFCCC and all that. But we want ASEAN to be more than just an acronym, but it is a sense of identity that everyone feels that their future is within ASEAN, that ASEAN can provide a solution to the problems that we face today. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, YB Minister. YB Minister, I'm so sorry, but may I ask you to kindly stay on the stage for a photo-taking opportunity. I can understand correctly with the VIP and the 32 delegates who were chosen for the ASEAN Youth Economic Forum food program for 3 days. Yes. Please make your way to the stage, VIPs and delegates. So this is a photo taking opportunity. Tomorrow you can buy the star, Berita Harian, maybe bernama AWANI. Yes, maybe your face is there. So that tell your parents you might be in AWANI. Let's give a great round of great big hands to all the delegates as well. How do we do an ASEAN handshake like this? All right, go ahead. Hand on top. Yeah, that's what you need to understand, right? Hand on top.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Hold on. There's a request.
Just
Come on, a round of applause.
All right, for the second speaker, we have Miss Ana Paula de Costa Xavier.
Round of applause, guys. Come on. We have to end the day on a high note.
Thank you very much. YB Nazmi, thank you very much Nanjaya, thank you very much sorry YB for putting you through an exercise of going up and down the stage so many times. So, as we come to the end of our forum, again I would like to thank each and every one of you for staying throughout the program with us. Your dedication, participation and attention is really very much appreciated.
Ini macam mana position ni? Tak tahu lah tempat. Nasi. Tak, dia punya position.
For any imperfections and any inconveniences caused throughout the session, to help us do better in the future, there will be a code.
Ingat kita boleh dengar sangat ni. Stand.
Kursi kena jalan.
Almost. QR code.
Tahu dia back in. Dekat sikit kita
Tahu benda ni.
mewakili pihak penganjur mengucapkan ribuan terima kasih kerana sudi hadir bagi membuat liputan dan juga menghadiri sidang media pada petang yang berbahagia ini. Saya perkenalkan, bersama saya adalah Menteri kita, Nazmi Ahmad, Minister of Natural Resources, Environmental Sustainability of Malaysia. And then di sebelah sana kita ada Mr. Fujioka Ryosuke, one of the part of the organizer, and then the beautiful lady over here, Miss Sarah Rauzana, the founder and the director of this project. Okay, please ask a question straightforward to the Wabi Minister, and please, thank you so much.
Okay, pada hari ini kita ada ASEAN Youth Economic Forum 2025 yang menghimpunkan pimpinan-pimpinan muda daripada ASEAN dan juga daripada Jepun selama 3 hari, bermula hari ini sampai ke 16 Februari. Dan fokusnya ialah climate change and building a climate resilient economy. Dan pada masa yang sama mereka juga akan bertemu dengan pembuat dasar, ketua-ketua industri dan perwakilan anak-anak muda. Dan ini mengambil semangat daripada tema kepengerusian ASEAN Malaysia, iaitu inclusivity and sustainability, ya, keterangkuman dan kemampanan. Jadi sebagaimana yang saya tekankan tadi, kita merasakan sangat penting untuk ruang ataupun platform anak muda ini, kerana kadang-kadang mungkin ramai rakyat biasa atau anak-anak muda yang merasakan atau tidak menyedari kepentingan ASEAN. Dan kalau kita ingat, macam saya sebut, ASEAN ketika penubuhan dia tu sangat relevan kerana ada perang dingin, ada waktu itu kita masih lagi hendak banyak soal kemiskinan dan sebagainya. Jadi orang menyedari kepentingan ASEAN. Tetapi hari ini kita tengok dengan ketegangan geopolitik, dengan masalah pembangunan ekonomi yang keperluan pembangunan ekonomi yang sekata, dan juga masalah survival planet kita, maka peranan ASEAN itu sebenarnya sangat penting dan perlu kita garap semula. Dan kita sangat berbangga kerana pada tahun ini ada 32 perwakilan daripada negara-negara anggota ASEAN, negara Jepun dan juga Timor Leste, di antara umur 18 sampai 35 tahun. Jadi saya ingat mereka ni sangat sesuai dan untuk mereka membincangkan, ya, isu-isu yang saya sebut tadi, kerana banyak daripada perkara ini akan memberi impak yang sangat besar kepada masa depan mereka lah secara lebih langsung. Dan ini antara perkara penting juga yang daripada partnership antara ASEAN dan negara Jepun lah. Jadi kita ucapkan penghargaan di atas sokongan ini. Dan ia akan menghimpunkan 200 orang, meliputi keynote speaker, panel discussion, business showcase, dan mereka juga akan mengakhiri forum ini dengan majlis makan malam dan perbincangan dengan Tuanku Raja Muda Selangor, Tengku Amir Shah. Jadi sebelum ia diserahkan dasar-dasar yang mereka bincang ini dan mereka garap, mereka akan serah kepada wakil daripada ASEAN dan Jepun. Ya, saya ingat dalam ucapan saya tadi, saya ada sebut bahawa youth memang, ialah ASEAN ni sebab dia institusi lama. Jadi sebelum saya lahir pun. Dan keadaan sudah berubah. Jadi mungkin dalam keadaan itu orang tidak menyedari kepentingan ASEAN. Tetapi dalam soal perubahan iklim, macam saya sebut, saya rasa banyak anak-anak muda sebenarnya sangat sedar dan sangat tahu. Dan juga kerana banyak soal contohnya masalah cuaca kering, pencemaran udara, jerebu, banjir menjadi semakin serius, mereka juga sangat-sangat tahu tentang impak kepada alam sekitar. Dan pengalaman saya, mereka sebenarnya tidak ada masalah kesedaran, tapi tentulah mereka nak tahu apa yang boleh mereka lakukan sebagai anak muda dan apa dokongan yang boleh dibuat, sama ada pihak kerajaan, sama ada pihak swasta, pihak NGO dan sebagainya. Sebab akhirnya perubahan-perubahan sistemik ni hanya boleh dibuat dengan perubahan di peringkat kerajaan ataupun di peringkat korporat. Perubahan individu penting, tetapi tanpa disambut oleh kerajaan dan pihak sektor swasta, dia tidak akan dapat bagi kesan yang besar lah. Jadi just to address the issue raised was with regards to the awareness of the youth on ASEAN and climate change. So as mentioned, I believe that because ASEAN has been such an established institution, that there is that danger or tendency to take it for granted. And the circumstances when ASEAN was first created, it has changed very much, the Cold War situation and all that. But now we are looking back at some geopolitical tensions, climate challenges and whatnot. I believe that coming together as ASEAN is actually very critical for the region. And it's important that we can get the youth to understand what we can do together as ASEAN, because sometimes there are limitations of what nation states can do, but ASEAN can do something more. But with regards to the awareness on climate change, I think the young are very much aware, and from my experience, there is not a problem of awareness, but it's just that they need to know what can be done, and how the government, the private sector, which play important roles in making the systemic changes, can assist them in order to with regards to what they want to do to address the issue of climate change or environmental problems, so on and so forth. Yeah. 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 Kita apa nama ni, macam disebut, kita fokus kepada soal security tenaga ni sangat penting, dan juga soal kelestarian tenaga. Kalau Malaysia, kita dah ada komitmen untuk kita tidak ada loji jana kuasa arang batu baru. Jadi dalam keadaan itu, kita juga sedang menambah kapasiti solar, bateri, kita mengkaji kemungkinan nuklear misalnya. Tetapi dalam keadaan ada jurang itu, maka kita perlu ada satu bahan api sementara, dan kita merasakan buat masa ini gas dapat memainkan peranan tersebut. Jadi bukan hanya daripada bahan api fosil, tetapi juga dia juga ada apa yang dilihat, kita boleh dapat LNG ini dapat diperoleh semula misalnya daripada bahan buangan kelapa sawit. Jadi there are various ways, not just from the fossil fuel, but there are other ways yang kita boleh dapatkan gas lah. Jadi kita merasakan sama ada daripada segi ASEAN Power Grid, daripada gas, daripada segi penjanaan tenaga baharu, memang Malaysia ada banyak potensi, dan kita dah letak sasaran net zero kita 2050, dan kita akan rangka dasar sesuai dengan sasaran tersebut lah.
I remember you saying just now that if all the ASEAN countries come together, we can be the fourth largest economy in the world, right? So,
Yeah.
Can you elaborate on that part?
Yeah, so well, now not yet. Now I think we're number 5, but the forecast is by 2030, ASEAN can reach as to become the 4th biggest economy, and currently our population is 670 million. Of course, ASEAN is very diverse. I mentioned some of the urban areas, not just Singapore, Brunei. You take KL, Penang, maybe you take Bangkok, Manila, Jakarta and all that. The GDP level is very, very high. But there are also other pockets, even in Malaysia, other countries where we know that it's still quite left behind, right? So, I think the challenge is not just being the 4th biggest economy. How do we harness that as a strength? And how do we ensure that we can deliver sustainable and equitable development for everyone? Because it's not enough to say that you're the 4th biggest economy, but we still have a lot of people who do not get electricity, who do not get education, where women are still left behind. Those sort of things have to be addressed as well. So I think, but the potential is of course there, and I think that's why this year's theme of ASEAN for inclusivity and sustainability is actually very critical so that everyone can feel that, that they feel that they are part of this, the potential of ASEAN.
Any question?
Okay.
Or maybe Mr. Fujioka, you want to say something about this event?
Yeah, so thank you very much. So my name is Ryosuke Fujioka. I'm Chief Representative of the AMEC Secretariat and responsible for ASEAN-Japan relationship. And this event is 3 years old, and this year we will actually focusing on the climate change issue because it's relevant to not only the ASEAN's agenda, but also, in my understanding, Malaysia is taking the lead of this sustainability agenda. So we are really happy to have this event in collaboration with AYO and His Excellencies. And the other issue is that, so one message is that, so Japan is a very traditional partner with ASEAN, and we recognize that we are not the neighbor, but the residents. Because, for example, in Malaysia, 2,000 Japanese companies is doing business in this country. So if we can collaborate with each other, we can make the big outcome. So His Excellency mentioned that the collaboration within ASEAN is very important, and we are expecting to collaborate with that stronger ASEAN through this sustainability issue. And so this event is funded from the Ministry of Economy, Trade and Industry. Sustainability and the economy, it should be to solve the many social problems. So we are really happy to keep on supporting the ASEAN's agenda, and especially the ASEAN presidency of Malaysia this year. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Fujioka. Maybe Sarah, do you want to say something as a director for this event?
Yeah, thank you very much. So I'm Sarah Rosanas, the chairperson of the ASEAN Organizations. As Ryosuke-san mentions before, that this is the third year of the partnership between ASEAN organizations and also AMEC, and with the support from the METI Japan to conduct the ASEAN Youth Economic Forum 2025. So each year we consistently talking about the environmental issue and also economic development, because as we know that we are now in the situations of the climate crisis as well, and this event is not only talking about the environment and economic development, but since AYO has its missions to achieve the success of the ASEAN Youth Development Index as well, and we believe that this event also supporting at least some of the 7 domains of the ASEAN Youth Development Index. As YB in his speech mentions that when we talk about the climate, there's also another intersectional issues as well, for example like health, and also we're talking about employment and opportunity, because if we take environmental and economic development seriously, we can also like taking more opportunities for new green jobs as well. So all of the things that we do, the 32 delegates coming from the ASEAN, Timor-Leste, and also Japan, and all of the participants for the AYEF 2025 public forum as well, this is like their steps as well on how they can also like participate in accomplish the missions of the ASEAN Youth Development Index. And once again, thank you so much YB for the support, and AMEC and METI Japan. Thank you very much.
Okay, ada soalan lagi? Question? Okay, thank you so much to YB dan Nazmi atas kerjasama dan juga sidang media yang dijayakan. Thank you so much Mr. Fujioka, dan thank you so much to Sarah Rozana. Dan kita punya sidang media berakhir di sini. Untuk para media boleh menjamu segera, dan terima kasih sekali lagi pada YB. Sekian, terima kasih.
Thank you.
Thank you very much YB.
Boleh berapa?
Atina, Paris.
Okay. Sarah, Paris. Okay.